I absolutely would. And I would also caution some of your listeners to be careful what they wish for. The set of circumstances that offer sharply higher gold prices is almost always difficult for the rest of your portfolio. People need to understand that more than anything else, gold is insurance. It's insurance against political and social turmoil. The gold price does well when people's faith in the system, and particularly faith in the purchasing power of their other investments, is challenged. So a circumstance that sees higher gold prices, which unfortunately I think we're going to see, is one where the rest of your portfolio is challenged. I would tell people too, I've been in the gold market now for almost 50 years. And what you see about gold is it can do nothing for you for long periods of time. And then it does spectacular things for you over fairly short periods of time. And so really, in order to invest in gold or speculate in gold stocks, what you need to do is decide, first of all, the paradigm, the reason that you're going to do it. If you have a reason to do something, it usually allows you to have the psychological strength to stand the volatility inherent in gold stocks and to weather downturns well. I'm attracted to both gold as an investment and gold stocks as investments and speculations that I am actively hoping, despite the fact that I own a lot of them, they go lower in price because I'd like to buy more. It's interesting, Charlotte, the way that we buy financial goods and the way we buy physical goods is very different. If, because Vancouver is cold and wet right now, you decided that you wanted a better coat and you went down to Pacific Center, you wouldn't be happy to see all those coats marked up. You'd be looking for one on sale. But surprisingly, when we buy financial assets, we seem to want them to be more expensive rather than cheaper. If I've learned nothing else in 45 years of investment and speculation, it's that if there is a good that I want it to be on sale. And I would argue with you that gold is fairly priced now, and many of the gold stocks are flat out cheap, which is to say they're good.
But do you think that in some cases people are too focused on the precious metals element of their portfolios?
Very often when people adopt the precious metals narrative, they go in more heavily than they can afford, either psychologically or financially. The good news about gold is during periods of time when there's market turmoil, if you regard it as insurance, a little bit goes a long way. I came into financial markets in 1970, and over the next decade, the gold price advanced from $35 an ounce to $850 an ounce. You didn't need much gold in your portfolio to provide a hedge over your general market securities or other asset classes. Moving forward, in 2000, the price of gold was $253, I think it was. It peaked 10 years later at $1,900. That teaches us several things. Gold bull markets are much longer affairs than people think they are, and their dimension is much greater. When the gold price finally goes, it goes a lot, not a little. But it can take a long time to reward you. And the volatility within those bull markets, as you had described it, the cyclical declines in secular bull markets can be absolutely dramatic. It's important, if you're going to be in gold, to think about what function you want it to fulfill. In other words, is it a purely insurance function, which means that you can accomplish it with the bullion? You don't need to take the risks in the equities. If you want to amplify the gain that you would enjoy in the bullion, but you're willing to do some work and take some risk, then you look at the equities. But the most important thing for a gold investor to do is to invest in himself or herself, to understand the reasons for their motivations, to develop a plan, develop the discipline, and implement that plan, to decide, first of all, whether gold is right for them, and if so, in what form and in what proportion. I'm thinking, sadly, that the gold price is going to go up, which means that we're going to have some challenges elsewhere in our portfolios and the economy. And let's review the reasons for that. Remember that early in this discussion, we said that gold can move for many reasons, but the primary reason is because people are concerned about the savings value, the purchasing power, of their savings or other investment assets. And let's think about why those concerns might be in order today. I know that we're talking to a primarily Canadian audience, but I'm going to give you American examples because I'm American and I think in American dollars. So the first thing that causes me as a saver and investor concern about the maintenance of purchasing power in my US dollar denominated investments and savings is quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is a very, very, very fancy name for counterfeiting. 40% of all the US dollars ever in existence have come into existence in the last 2 years. The American economy has grown by 40% in the last 2 years. The government has printed, or with a keystroke caused to occur, 40% more supply of US dollars secured around an economy that hasn't grown by 40%, which is to say, it has been counterfeited. And that causes me concern.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dahn, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dahn.